Hello, everyone. So let us understand the AI agent project that I have made. The project is called AI News Summariser, and the fundamental and the concept or the concept behind this project is actually to give you what is happening around the world in a very short fashion, where you will be able to consume it as well as you will be able to understand what is happening and still not overwhelmed and don't have to, invest a lot of time in going through all the news articles. So let us understand what this project does. Okay. So what this project does is when you come here on this particular page, you select your interest from here like this. You can select the interest, and after that, when you say search the news, so what it will do is it will hit the web search API, and we will understand each and every component in detail. So it will hit the web search API. It will get the news items for you. That news item search is like a very shallow search. It will be having the title, the URL, and very small news content in it, right? After that, what it will do is it will take that URL and it will try and crawl the web pages, right? So once it will crawl the web pages, then after that, it will be having the list of the articles which are there that it can use. Once it has all the list of the article and their content available, then those content is actually given to the summarizer. Now, what Summarizer will do is it will take each news article, it will take the content of that, it will summarize it, and then it will create an item with URL, title, and summary of it, right? So now what you are having is like in the first cut, let's suppose you had 10 news items. So then you actually made the content request for those 10 news items. Then after that, you have given it to a large language model or any summarizer model which was able to summarize it and give you the news summary for all those 10 news items, right? Now, after that, what we will do, we will give these items to the genre assigner, right? So what it will do is it will actually take each and every item. It will identify the genre for this. And what it will do is it will group those news items based on the genre. So let's suppose AI and news might be having let's suppose three items in it. Politics might be having two items in it. Like this, it will do a grouping of those items, right? And after that, what we will do is we will actually give those genre groups to the final summary item. So what it will do is it will take each genre, it will take the news items in it will summarize that complete for you. And what you will be having is you will be having a complete summary based on what in that particular genre what is happening. Like let's suppose if I'll say politics, so what you will see is you have one summary for politics, right? Similarly, in AI and the emerging tech, you will be having one summary in AI and emerging tech, and similarly goes to technology, right? But if you will see over here, there are total eight articles with three genres covered, and the highest number of articles you will be seeing in the politics, right? Now let us come here. As I said, that what it was doing, the final summary item, what it was doing is it was actually summarizing each and every article for you, right? So we'll come here. We'll see that, okay, here politics is having three items. So each is having its own summary. So let's suppose you are interested in understanding it a bit more, in deep. So what you will do is you will come here, you will see the particular item and you can see the summary against it. Now, if some of the item, let's suppose some news article interests you. So what you can do is you can actually click on this read full article. And what this will open is this will open that news article for you where you can go and read about it. Okay. So similarly, you will see this AI and tech and all. So you will see all this over here, right? Now let us see how it is actually working. So let's suppose I come to this particular page and I do a search for this, right? So the moment I will do a search for this particular news item, so you will see like what we are getting is we are getting the news items as I said in the beginning, right? And these news items are like, something where you will be having a lot of content and quite big. But the moment I get this summary, those that content is actually replaced by the summary of that, right? And the moment I have the genres assigned, each news article is now part of the genre, if you will see over here. Correct. And once the final summary is ready, then this is your final page that look like. So what you will be doing is you will be able to see this article that you have seen in the beginning, and this is the total. web page for you, which is actually giving you all the news and everything that you have seen over there, right? So let us understand how this is actually working. So we will understand this whole thing with the high level diagram first. It's kind of a bird eye view for you, where we'll be understanding how each what is how each component is interacting with each other. So let's suppose there is a UI component, then there is a backend component, and then there is an agent component, right? So how they are interacting with each other. These are three separate entities, and how these three separate entities are talking to each other, how they are reacting is something that now we will discuss. Okay. So let's come to this first one, which is the Streamlit. So the UI is actually made with Streamlit here. And what we do is we select the genres, right? As you have seen in the web page as well, that you were able to select the genres. And once you do that, once you hit the search news button, then what it does is it makes an SSE call to the backend. Right now, why do we need an SSE call? What you have noticed is the use case was quite big, right? The use case was that first I will be, doing a web search, and after that, what I will be doing is I'll be searching the content for it, then the summarizing it. After that, assigning genre, and at the very end, you will see the final summary, right? So if you've noticed that, it is very obvious that it can take a lot of time, correct? So what we wanted to do is we wanted to actually reduce as much as time possible, right? So what we are doing is as soon as we are getting the news items, we are actually returning it to the UI so that it can render. And user should not feel like it's like a very stale application for you, right? So that is how we actually worked on this. Okay. So what will happen here is it will make a call, and the backend will first check whether it's a cache hit or a cache miss. If it's a cache hit, which means if the data is present in the storage, then in that case it will stream from the storage itself. So it will, every 5 seconds, what it will do is it will keep giving you each and each news item, right? We have not given it like in one go. The reason for that was that if I would have given it in one go, then you will be having a completely different behavior when it comes from a storage versus when it comes from the actual live, right? And one thing I do not want the users to know is that this data is from storage and this is from live. So what we have done is it's kind of a similar what we say experience, but here it's a time-bound experience, so you will know that what you are going to get, right? So in the cache hit, it will be like this, and then if it's a cache miss, then it will go to the agent. Now in the agent also, you see there are two different, right? So as I said that the use case is quite big for us, right? It's a five-step use case. But sometimes you might be like, okay, give me the 10 news articles and give me summary for those 10 news articles, and I'm done. I do not want it based on the genres and everything, right? So one of the Langchain flow is available here as well for that particular scenario, where this particular flow actually gives you only uh, the news articles with their summaries, right? So here you will be like this particular service will stop on that. However, this particular service that we have just seen actually goes to for the more steps, right? Okay, and in each entity, what you will see is there is a config that we are inserting. So like everything is configurable here. So you can actually set from your end that, what should be the TTL for my storage? What kind of model should I be using? Should I be using a CrewAI? Should I be using Langchain? What should I be using, right? So all these can be set through config that we will go in detail. And all the outputs and everything is actually maintained in the logs. So you will see a logger over here, which is actually maintaining each and everything for you, right? Okay. So we have understood till here, and we can see from here as well that these are the external things that we are using, like the CrewAI framework we are using, the LangChain framework we are using, and in the LLMs we are highly dependent on OpenAI and Gemini. So you can choose any of these, whichever suits you. Okay, so let us now understand the backend as well. So here we have the backend. And before we, understand this particular architecture, let us first see how the backend is working. So we'll come over here. It's an it's an API request. So what we will be doing over here is we'll be making a REST API call. You will see the endpoint over here, and what you will see is the query params, right? Which are exactly over here, the things that we have selected. And let me hit the request now. So it will first make the connection with the server. Okay, after the connection is made, after that, what it will do is it will actually make the search call. Okay, once search the web is done, then it will make the extract call. Once the extract is done, after that, it will be summarizing the news for you. So you can see the summarize result over here. After the summarize, the news is done, then it will do a sign genre. And after a sign genre is done, then it will do a final summary for you, right? You do not see the response because we just have hit the server a minute back only, and it is caching the request for us. So when we cache the request at that point, we do not keep what we say the extract results, right? Because they are like huge, and we actually do not use it to render any part of the UI. So what we are doing is we are only keeping the things that we are using to render our UI. Okay, so let us understand these. So like if you can see the search the web, so it is containing the URL, title, content, and all right. And then if you see summarize the news, then you will see over here for all those items, you will be having a URL title and a summary of that, right? Now, once I will open assign genre, so you will notice that there is this politics, and then inside this you have a group of news, right? And again, AI and emerging tech, and then group of news, right? Similarly, when we'll go to the final one, then you will be having same genre, and then there is a final summary that we have rendered. And along with final summary, we have the all the list of summaries as well, from which this final summary is actually created. So if you want to use it for your own particular user interface model, you can do use that. So what I have done over here is I have exposed both for you. There is an API request also available, and then there is a UI also available. So if you want to use the UI directly, you can use it directly. Otherwise, if you want to use just the API part of this, you can use the API part of it as well. Okay. So now let us go and understand the backend logic ones. And as we have discussed, like we have seen it in working as well, that somehow our storage is working fine, right? So we have seen when we made the postman request at that time, the results actually came from the storage, right? Okay. So here what is happening is the requester has made a call with the query parameters, which are actually comma separated. So it goes to the backend. Now, what backend does first is it first takes all the query parameters, it sorts it, and then it will create a key for it. So once the key is created, then that key will be later used to save it. So let's suppose if I am searching sports and AI, and if someone else is also searching sports and AI after me, and once the results are generated from my side, if somebody else is searching sports and AI, the same journal, then what we can do is we can avoid the agent call, and we can directly give it from our backend itself. Each news can have some threshold. By threshold, I mean some expiry. So that expiry can be defined by you only, and you can actually, say that I want my news to persist for 1 hour, for 2 hours, for half an hour, whatever you want, right? Okay, so it will come over here. It will sort each and every news article. Okay, if for that particular key, what it will also search is if there is a partial result available. So let's suppose last time the process ran, but it has given you only partial result, like only search the news and extract came to you. Summary, assigned genre, and final summary did not come to you, right? So what it will do is first it will do the cleanup because that result cannot be used, right? So it will do a cleanup for you. Okay, then it will check in the DB if that key is present or not. Obviously, if there was a partial record, it must have been cleaned up. If there are no record, then you will directly come over here and make the agent call. The moment you will make the agent call, then everything is live for you, right? So it will come from the agent, and the agent will actually give you these five different what we say the streams for you, right? So it will be search result, it will be extract result or crawl result, whatever you call it. There will be a summarized news, they will be assigning the genre of for that, and then there will be a final genre summary. All right. Then it will come to you over here. And after that, what it will do is like here, it must be like looping through each stream, right? And it will be creating the moment it is coming to it. What it will be doing is it is creating it in a user response. So basically, user response contains the node key name and the result of that key, which means the content for that particular thing, and it is passed to the front end, right? And in this particular case, it will be sending each of and every response as and when it is getting it. So we are not holding and keeping it at our end. As and when we are getting, we are just sending it back to the user, right? But one interesting thing over here is we are storing in the database only after everything is received, right? So you will see that only when we have the end of stream, at that time we are storing the results in the database. Now, this particular thing is done to avoid this particular scenario of the partial results, right? Still, we have a condition over here applied. But what we are also doing is we are making sure if we have not received the complete response, till then we will not be storing it in the database, right? And this has been the live case. Now, let's suppose if you have received it, like if the value is present in the database, in that particular case, what you will be getting is you will be getting the streams from here only, and database will be giving you like each and every item, and those items will be looping through, and then one by one we'll be passing in the stream. Right, so this is how the backend architecture is working for this particular uh, application, right? And now here you will see that the agent is actually not, like a very simple one. You will see that the agent itself is having a lot of items of it, right? So we will discuss each and every item also in detail. But let's first understand what we have here in I would say in a very simplified manner, right? So this is the most simplified version of this particular agent, and what it is doing is, as we have discussed, that it will be starting the agent, it will be getting the news from you from the web, and we are doing a Tavily web search over here. If we get any error or any exception, what we do is we end the stream then and there. So you will see each node is actually, having an exception block over here. And if this control flow says that no, there is no exception, in that case, you will be going to the next one, right? So like this, each and every one will be moving forward. So now we have like after this, we'll be having extracting the news. Extracting the news, as I said, can be done via two ways. You can, extract the news directly, or you can also extract the news using Tavily crawl. So you can either use Tavily extract or Tavily crawl. I personally here have used Tavily extract. However, if you want, you can use Tavily crawl as well, right? Now, after that, you have a summarizer. Now, some for the summarizer, we have three different ways. We can either summarize using Gemini model, we can either summarize using OpenAI model, or if you want, you can use Facebook Bot CNN as well. That is, all these three are already integrated. If you want to write your own as well, you can actually write it. The function will be returning in a structured class, right? So you just have to take care of that, and rest all you can do, right? Similar goes to the assigned genre. Now, here in the assigned genre, what we have done is I've actually used the Langchain here, right? Now the thing is, this particular thing can be done in a very simple way of calling a function and sending the item to it. The function will summarize it and give it back to you, correct? So it could have done that as well, right? But here, just to showcase how we can use Langchain as well inside the Langgraph node, and how well it incorporates with different things like search extract tools. We actually are working over here with the LangChain framework, right? And after this, it will go to the final summary. Now, again, as I've used LangChain to showcase how we can use LangChain in that particular like node environment, and to give you an idea that how a node is so well versed in itself that you can actually use anything. Similarly, we have used the CrewAI agent over here, right? So the CrewAI agent will again, so there is a task and there is an agent, right? And those task and agent is actually given to the crew, and then they, do their magic and gives you the response. Okay. So this is how the simplified version of this agent is. and we will actually discuss each and everything in detail as well as we go. But first, let's understand the heart of this project, which is actually the agents, right? So we have already discussed these. Now let us understand each and every component one by one so that we will know that how we are working with these. So first one, as I said, the step one is new search step, right? So what we are doing over here is once we get the query, query is nothing like from there you have got all the genres, right? And then using those genres, we create a query for the model, and that query is passed to the Tavily web search tool. Right now, what Tavily web search tool does is it has a very structured output, right? So you can actually get that output at your end. You just pass it. So I have used Pydantic classes for that and JSON passing for that. So everything like can be passed and used in that fashion. It gives you a very structured output, which actually is helpful for you to use in like later stages as well. Correct. So what it will be doing is it will be returning you the response, which is actually a list of news items. And the list mainly contains the URL title and some part of the content, right? Not all the content. Okay, after once this is done, then after this, as I said, that you have your choice what you want to use, right? So from the config, you can actually set this particular thing. So the list of news article, basically the list of URLs is actually given for this, right? Now here you can actually do a parallel execution also if your system supports it. So I have already given this capability with the current executor as one. So if you want, like you can increase the executor and you can like do the parallel execution. And here you will give the news item to this, basically the URL to this, right? And what this will do is this will extract the content for this, right? So you can, as I said, you can either use this or this. So wherever I've used, some external tools for the thing, those are marked with yellow. So you can actually easily identify those parts in this diagram, right? So you'll see this, and then there is clean the news content, right? So what it will do is after you got the news, what it will does is it cleans up the content also for you, tries to remove the extra thing as much as possible, and then we append that content to a list, right? And then after that we pass it to a structured. Basically, I've written dict here, but it's kind of a structured class for you. Again, I use the Pydantic class, right? So yeah, so basically it will return you the structured class output. Now that, as I said, is actually given to the summarizer, right? Now summarizer also receives a list of news items, but this time it receives it with content, right? So this for this particular thing, the URLs were important. For this particular thing, the content is important, right? So what it will do is it will loop through the news content. Again, I have already given the execution here. If you want, you can just copy paste the same execution over here as well and use this particular thing also, in a parallel model. Here, when you give it for the summarization, so what you can do is actually before summarizing, what we do is we actually extract a part of the content, right? So we extract around 1,000 words, sorry, 10,000 words from the content or something, right? And remaining content we don't, right? So what I'm currently assuming is that in the beginning of like 1,000, I will be able to get something, right? But if you want, you can actually change that number to your particular requirement. And like as and when you receive the content, so again you will be looping through each content, you will be generating the summary of that, and then at the end you will be passing the summaries to a structured list, and that structured list will be returned back. Okay, so we have covered till summarizer. Now let us come to the genre model. So again, the genre model, as I said, it takes the genre for you, the list of news summaries basically, and it calls this particular model. Now here also you have two different ways of doing this. Either you can use a Langchain model or you can use the LLMs directly as well, right? So you can give it to the LLM and you can say that hey, assign the genre for this, and it will do that for you. or you can give it to the Langchain and say, okay, hey, assign the genre for this particular item, and it will assign the genre for that particular item. Now, again, both the implementations are shared so that you can go through it and understand and see that how both implementations are done. At the end, they are going to produce a single result for you, which is the same result because it is again a structured model, which we are going to actually feed to the final summary model, right? Now here comes the final summary, big project about to, reach its conclusion. So here we have like this is a map, right? Because each genre will be having a list of items in it, right? So what we will be doing is we'll be taking all those items, we'll be joining it to a complete like single item. Like let's suppose if there are three news items, they will be joined together to one single news item, and then that will be given to the CrewAI, right? Here also, I've forgot to mention one thing that these prompt LLM and the content, like these three are, passed from somewhere. So because these are the input to this model, so I have mentioned it with the dotted rectangles, right? So this will tell you. Now the here the LLM you have choice whether you want to use OpenAI or Gemini. That's why the LLM is also going. Here, like you will be using, some predefined LLM, let's suppose. So you'll be just giving the prompt and the content to this. Similarly here, very same, you will be giving the prompt, the LLM, and the combined summary, right? These are actually given to the CrewAI, and then it will be having a summarizer task, and a summarizer agent. And what it will do is, like once you give it to it, it will actually do the it will summarize that particular news item and it is return it back, right? Once you receive this particular item, what you will be doing is for each genre, you will be giving the final summary and then the list of the news items as well, right? As I've shown you in the result that we have seen in the postman in the final summary. So each item is having a final summary and then list of news items in it, right? So the same thing we will be seeing over here as well, and this will actually return you the final response. So this is how the architecture of this particular, like the complete architecture of this particular project is. Here is the technical doc for you, which gives you the like all the things that we have discussed. It actually gives you all that thing over here, and you will be able to, read through it and understand what I have done. One thing I just forgot to mention over here is in the backend architecture, you might have noticed that there are MongoDB and in-memory. So you can actually use any of these, right? You can either use MongoDB or you can use in-memory. Since the memory use case of this is not very big, because we are not storing for each and every user. Rather, we are storing for each and every genre combination, which is a finite set for us, right? So in-memory also works very fine for us. Okay, so now let's come over here. Yeah, this will, tell you about each and everything, like how it is working, the front end architecture, the back end architecture, everything it will be telling you. It will telling you how the front end is receiving this, how what they are passing, right? The architecture of this complete agent, how the logging and exception handling is done. Each and every item that we have just discussed, it will be going through that. And after that, there will be a deployment guide. So once you have done that, and yeah, one more thing is like the tracing, uh, like we are using the Langsmith and CrewAI for tracing and all, which you can actually, see below. Okay, so deployment guide is here. We have a pyproject.toml, and what you just need to do is you need to use UV. I have used the UV environment. So you create your own virtual environment, right? And after the virtual environment is created, you just activate your virtual environment, and after that, you just need to run UV sync. Dash dash activate is also there. I've not written it over here. I should write dash dash activate. Okay, so you will sync dash dash activate and it will activate the environment for you. It will sync all the dependencies for you. And for a better understanding, all the dependencies are actually mentioned here as well. Okay. One more thing is there, which is like the environment file. You will not find the environment file in the GitHub project. So what you need is you need to create your own environment file. You have to put your own keys over here, and then your project will start working smoothly, right? So you can see that we have used like the Langsmith and CrewAI tracing by itself, right? And okay, so each module is having its own config that we have discussed. So we will quickly just see the configs very quick in a very quick fashion. So under each component, what you will see is you will see this config file, and they will be having the config for its own, right? Like for the front end, I'm defining what all genres are supported, like which endpoint to call, and what it takes. Like I have not used this basically, and this as well for that matter. Mainly use this, right, in this. Okay. Similarly, you will be having in the REST API, we discussed already. So here are the configs, right? It will be having how much will be the expiry for the logs. Like currently it is 5 minutes. You can actually change it to 3 days. So it has all the configurations available for you, right? What should be the configuration for MongoDB as per your requirement? You can put it. What is the expiry time for the data? So this is actually in minutes, right? So you can actually change it to whatever value. So this is actually in seconds. So you can actually change it to whatever value you want, right? So basically this is for 1 hour. Okay. So if you multiply this by 24, then you can persist it for a complete day. Okay. These are the streaming sequences. I would advise you not to change this because this is in the exact same sequence how it should be. It is here just for your understanding that what all news streams we are going to receive at our end, right? And that we will be actually sending to the front end. This is for that. Like if you want to use crawl later, you can use the crawl as well. Okay. But don't change the sequence for this because otherwise the project will break and you won't be able to recover that. Okay. Yeah. So, and this is your server config, like where you are running and all. Okay. Similarly, a news agent. Now, this config is the interesting one. It has a lot of things that you can do. First of all, is log summary, which is exactly same as you're doing. Then there is a is mock, which basically means that when you run the results of what it does is it actually creates the files for you, and if you do not want to consume what we say your web APIs a lot, right? So at that point what you do is you actually use the mock. So in that case, it does not make the actual what we say the LLM calls rather than from the previous call only it is taking it and it is giving you back, right? So you are able to save a lot on cost, especially when you're doing the development. At that time, it is advised to use is mock as true. So you bring the results for the first time, and then after that you use it as true, do all the things, and only when you are deploying this application, at that time you can make it false. Okay. Okay. Now in the LLM, as we have discussed that we have multiple LLMs, right? So you can see the Gemini LLM over here. You can see for the CrewAI what you need to put, for Langchain what you need to put. Similarly for the OpenAI, for Langchain what model name, for CrewAI what model name, right? And then their temperature is also there to tell you that how much of the randomness we want in that, right? And you can also see which one do you want to make active. Make only one of them active. If you make both active, then the first one will be picked. Okay, so basically I'm saying that I want the OpenAI. So let's suppose this is true. If you are using the Gemini, you can make this one as true. Okay. Uh, in the similar way, for every component, you will see like for the web crawl, whether you want to use Tavily crawl or Tavily extract. See, we have done this. Parallel executor, I have said one, right? So you can change it from here and it will do multiple for you, right? For the summarizer, like you will see over here that mostly we are using LLM. So when I'm saying LLM over here, so what it will do is whatever active LLM you are having from here, it will pick it. Okay. So that's why you do not see any name over here. But yeah, otherwise, there is this LLM, which is the Facebook LLM. I have personally noticed that this does not work that well because it has some cut of knowledge and all, and it's not able to summarize that well. The real-time LLMs are doing it very well. However, if you want to do it locally, you can actually write the implementation for fee model as well, right? I have not written it, but it is on you. Like you can write it and you know when you're downloading, you can actually write it and use it. So it's kind of an MIT licensing project, and you can actually, take and add your things. Okay, so now let's come to this genre list. So this genre list, as I've said, is again configurable. You want to decide what all genres your LLM will be, categorizing in. And for genres also, whether you want to use Langchain, like for assigning genres, whether you want to use the Langchain or you want to use the tools, right? So that also we have discussed earlier as well. Right, so this is how the configuration for this is, and you can actually make changes in the configuration to actually, run this particular project. Now, let us quickly see that how we can run this project, right? So what you need to do is you need to get inside this project, which is this AI News Summariser. You need to get inside this, right? And after that, once you have done all the dependencies and LLM setup done, then you have to run this particular command, which is uv run.py. Right. So what this will do is this will start your backend for you. Okay. Before running this, please make sure that you set your virtual environment, right? So that configuration is already given in the technical doc. You can actually get it from there. But yeah, you can run it using this. Okay. Similarly, in the Streamlit, let's come here. In the Streamlit also, you need to run this particular command. Okay. But before running this particular command, please make sure that you set your environment. After that, only you should be running this particular command. Right. So yeah, so this is the project for you. I hope you have liked it. It has been actually made with, a lot of effort. You can see the time over here, which is currently, 2:25 a.m. So I used to get time mainly in the night, and was quite excited about this one. So I started working on this, and it actually turned out good. So it actually, kept me awake during this late hours as well. So I'm very happy. And let's hope for the best. Let me know if you have any doubts or any confusion regarding the implementation. I'm here to help. So please feel free to, get in touch with me and understand, like for any understanding that you need. Uh, Before we go, I would just like to tell you that in the news flow agent, you will see different folders are there for different implementations and all. So if I open tools, you will be able to see tools and everything. The main implementation means the graph for this is inside this flow graph. Okay, so if you will come over here, you will notice that the complete graph has been made here. And as we discussed, right, the exception part. So the state has a property called has error. So whenever there's an exception, we set that to true. And whenever that is true, what we do is we actually, ends the stream from there. If it is not true or not set, basically, in that case, only it will go to the next item, right? And after final genre summary, it will anyways end. Okay, great. I hope that we'll connect soon on this. Sure. Thank you.